Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our weekly guided reflection sessions where we're going to take about 40 to 50 minutes out of our day to just think more intentionally about our life. We're going to pose simple questions that are meant to get us to think more about our behaviors and habits, actions, so that moving forward, we can be more precise in the actions we want to take towards the direction we want to be going, right? Speed is not greater than velocity. What we want is a velocity, speed in a direction. And this will help us. So we're going to start this session how we do every session, and that's just 5 minutes of breathing. Just 5 minutes. You can do that. We can do it together. 5 minutes starting now. And recording this here on the farm in Wisconsin. The air's fresh, clean, earthy. And we're just breathing in and out. When thoughts come to your mind, just let them pass. We don't need to address them right now. We're just focused on our breathing, just in and out. We're just taking breaths in and out. All right, so that was 5 minutes. You feel good? You feel good? I do. Now, bring out your notebook, or, if you're typing, your computer, or if you're just, thinking about the questions and answering them in your head, like, get ready for that too. And we're going to start with the same question that we always ask, and that's, what are we grateful for? There are infinite things to be grateful for. Think of a few things on your mind. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful that the sun isn't out just beating down on me right now while we're recording this outside. It's low 80s, but it's got a nice breeze to it. Oh, right as I say that, the sun comes out. See, that's life. I've been doing this caffeine 30 days challenge. No caffeine for 30 days. And just immerse myself in nature, and been growing my hair out a little bit. So it's interesting. I haven't had it this long since the pandemic, and I just let it grow during the pandemic a bit. So I find myself always like, and the wind blowing it everywhere. It's interesting. But doesn't the sun give us so much energy? It's been great. Summer's a great time of the year, but pretty soon it's going to be fall. And we can be grateful for a bunch of other new things that fall brings. If you live somewhere that experiences seasons. If you live somewhere that doesn't experience the seasons, then it's probably really nice all year round. Although I was looking at the temperatures in the south right now. Like New Orleans is supposed to be like 110 tomorrow or something. That's crazy. That's wild. That's some heat right there. Yeah, in Wisconsin, this is good. This is good. But yeah, let's be thinking of things that we're grateful for. I'm grateful that the mosquitoes aren't too bad right now. I went for a walk in the woods the other day, and I brought my notebook. I was going to do some writing. I would write one word, and I would have to, slap the mosquitoes on my skin. It was constantly. I couldn't write a sentence. So I made a purchase on Amazon for some mosquito net hats. So like safari hats with nets. Cost me $14. But I feel like it can be pretty useful. Now, when the mosquitoes were out, that moment, it was actually drizzling. Some light rain. I had an umbrella because I thought it'd be so magical and refreshing to go on a walk in the woods when it's raining. I feel like it would have kind of some like mysticism elements of it. And it was cool. Oh, there's a small plane flying overhead. That's got to be fun. That's got to be fun. Although I always see that those ones are the ones that crash. Anyways, so it had a really cool feel because a lot of times when I take walks in the woods there, it's sunny. And I thought, you know what? It's raining just a little bit. I'm gonna just take a walk. But the mosquitoes were pretty bad, and I'm not one to complain typically about mosquitoes. I've been in the woods this week. There have been a couple of times I just go in the woods and I just read for like an hour. It's awesome. It's so healing. But the question I want us to think about is, what's the best purchase we've made under $20 recently? So under $20, what's been kind of the biggest net bang for your buck as far as items you've bought? Be creative. But most of all, be true in just thinking about it. Like, what purchase under $20 recently has been the most value provided to you? That's a fun one. A lot of times we think about spending or investing large amounts of money and getting value from something, but what about something small, like $20? $20 is accessible to a lot of people. Look at this, I have an ant on my hand. It's a pretty large ant. You know what's neat about ants is they work together. They're very collaborative. They're also very strong. They can lift and carry items like 20 times their weight. This ant doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, now she's gone up the arm. Saw a spider yesterday. The legs on the spider were probably like 5 inches. It's really interesting. I've been having a lot of fun exploring nature recently. I even downloaded an app. I think I've mentioned it during other recording sessions, reflection sessions, and that's PlantNet. And I can identify plants that I find. So, but yeah, I purchased under $20. Actually, it was a 2-pack safari hats with mosquito nets. Because I think that's something I really want to do, is be able to take walks in the woods in the mornings and write and read there without any interruption. I've identified 4 or 5 different species of oak trees here. Bur oak. This is a bur oak behind me. Bur oak, white oak, black oak, swampy chestnut oak. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, so I think that purchase under $20 to not be eaten by mosquitoes while we're going on reflective walks in the woods or writing. I think that'll be valuable. I also bought a tarp today for like $8. No, it was like $7. I'm gonna go in the woods and just collect different twigs, light branches, and use them, set them aside, have a pile for kindling for my campfires. It's really neat. It's kind of a blessing how abundant materials are in the woods. The woods is so giving. It's like infinite. Last campfire I started, I went 15 feet in the woods and collected everything I needed in 2 minutes. What's something you're grateful exists in abundance? Oh, now we got a bee. A little small bee on the... Now, we're talking more in a material sense, but we can think of it too in a non-material sense, and that's like the greatest would be love. If we're constantly surrounded or placing ourselves in environments where love is abundant, everything would be a lot calmer, peaceful. People would feel elevated, uplifted, inspired, empowered. Empowered. That's a word I'm thinking about lately. Yeah, materials, something we're grateful for that exists in abundance. This next question, what's a space or a place where we can meet or be with friends? A place or space that has, where people are going to have similar interests to us, like-minded in a way. A topic that comes up quite often in conversation recently is third spaces. You know, so not your home, not where you work or not school, but like another place in life where you can meet people, be with people physically, and develop friendships. But it's more so that human connection. That human connection is so important, and it's lacking today because everything has become so easy and convenient with our phones and digital technology that we've gotten comfortable just being by ourselves, being alone, and it can increase suffering. It can create suffering because we're not being social, we're not being with other people. And so it's important to find another space that you feel connected with other human beings. In a physical sense. You know, it was fun the other day. Ooh, this sun is warm. The other day, my friend Ken, we're working on a book together called The Boy and the Rocket Ship, and he illustrates. He's a visual artist, and he drove up from Chicago and just spent the day here on the farm, and we worked out. I've been doing tire flipping for workouts, and he was really curious. He was really energized to do that. So we did that, and then we came out here in this space and just worked. But overall with that day, what I appreciated most was just his presence, just being together, being ourselves with each other, just collaborating. It was so joyful. Yeah, I've been doing tire flipping workouts. Got a big tire that's been laying around, and set a timer. It's probably like 100 pounds. It's probably from the ground. It's probably up to here, maybe. I don't know. Maybe like that. And set a timer for 5 minutes, and then I just flip the tire until the 5 minutes is up, and then I do it 3 or 4 times, and I'll do some other exercises after that, whether it's like free squats or push-ups, and probably one of the most effective workouts I've ever done. In like 20 years of working out, I've never seen quicker results. Like doing these exercises like 3 times a week plus additional few other workouts, get the results I want within like 4 or 5 days compared to it taking like a month to see results. That's how extreme and how impactful they are, effective. So I was telling Ken about that, and I'd gone down to Chicago a couple of times, and so he's seen results in person. And he was like, let's hit those tires. So that was fun. We did that the other day. For this question, think about the best workout you've experienced. So what's something that you've exerted energy with your body and you just felt great afterwards? Like your whole body just feels nourished and energized and just right, and your body feels right. What's a workout you've done like that, or exercise movement, something like that? And now we want to be thinking about this so then we can do it again. Think about it so that, oh yeah, you know what? That did feel really good. You know, that workout was really effective. Why don't I start doing it again next week, or today? Always be moving your body. That will, I think that's really important as far as, as you get older especially, you need to make sure your body's moving and that you're using it. Because if you don't, you're losing it. Next question. What's a book or reading material, article, whatever it may be, that you read and felt empowered, inspired after it? What's a book that left you feeling empowered after reading it? Recently. Let's go recently. Doing some reading, just out in nature. It's been good. Watch the sunsets, breathe the air. The last 2 weeks, I've made more effort to be present, be in the moment, not think about what's coming up, especially if the actions I take right now can't even alleviate that or deal with that. What's in front of us right now? How can we be absorbed in it? How can we be the moment? So over the next 2 weeks, what's something you want to really improve on and really put effort towards? Yeah, and results from being more present is just life becomes more enjoyable. And we're able to see more. If our head's always down, we don't see what's happening, right? So the purpose of taking a step back and being more aware of the moments, being in the moment, being present, is to experience life more. We're in our heads so much. We're in our heads way too much. I know it, you know it, we all know it, that individually we're in our heads too much. And I think it's important for us to, well, one, admit to it, or not even admit, because that implies wrongness, but it's just, it can kind of just, it's just kind of a habit that we just kind of fill into. And if we don't take a step back, if we don't think consciously, take a step back, then life goes by and we just have a whole pile of unimportant things that we did or spent our time on, rather than really, tasting this grape that we're eating, observing nature, the birds, the insects, the blades of grass sway to and fro. It's beautiful. There's a beautiful interconnectedness to everything. I'm looking around and there's so much green. There's so many weeds. So many plants that are weeds, and that they just grow. They take over everything. It's quite remarkable how different species of plants have learned how to survive and thrive with very little. Oh, there's a monarch butterfly. Come over here. What about the woodpile? I think that's a great analogy for what we're trying to do. Doing these reflection sessions, we're just meager caterpillars, but through it, in time, we'll become beautiful butterflies. We reinvent ourselves, we transform ourselves. Into very regal creatures, animals. I think it's important for all of us to realize what's inside of us, because society's just better off that way. It's cool if so-and-so transform theirself, but we're better overall if I also transform myself and bring out the best in myself, because then that will inspire this person over here to bring out the best in their self. And so we all want to raise the tide, right? So that all boats float, so that we're stronger together. This next question, what's something we learned about ourselves in the past 2 months? So in the past 2 months, what's something that we truly learned about ourselves? We always want to be learning and growing. Because at minimum, we don't want our life to be boring. If we're not growing, if we're not learning, then we're just flat. And we're just repeating life over and over again. These ants are very ticklish on my legs. Ooh, there's a crane right there. Maybe it will come into the shot. I hope you guys see it. It might come into the shot. I don't know if it did. Darn it. Oh, last night I heard a pack of coyotes howl. It was maybe like 2 a.m. Pretty loud. Yeah, coyotes. It's always interesting hearing them howl. Had a big storm roll through last night. The energy and the power of a summer storm. And I'm in a farmhouse, and I'm just like, whoa. I'm in a house that was built in like the 1880s. It's like, oh man, let's hold on tight. The next question, what's something we're proud of in the last 2 months? Yeah, what's something we're proud of? Too often, we're down on ourselves, you know? It's helpful to show more love, more care towards ourselves and recognize the things that have gone right, have gone well, things that we did do well. Oh yeah, there's that plane again. It's got the propellers in the front. Yeah, summer allows just so many opportunities for just living life to the fullest. Ooh, a different butterfly. That's a beautiful butterfly. It feels so freeing, right? That'll be our next question. When did we last feel free? You know, what were we doing? What was the context of it? When you feel free, you just kind of lose yourself. You know, there is no you in a way. You're just immersed in the activity, the event, the performance, the whatever it may be. We want more moments like that. Yeah, I'm always playing with my hair now. I'm gonna get it cut after my 30 days, no caffeine, is up. I think. Yeah, it's a couple days from now. It's been an interesting experience. That's what excited me about it, was observing the results. That's what I was most excited for with the experiment. It's just, at the end, what are the results? And because the results are going to be more extreme, more clear from just cold turkey not doing something, right? That you've been doing for, say, 12 years. Just doing it, like not doing it for 30 days. What happens? That's what energized me, instead of just like cutting back a little. No, just rip off the Band-Aid. And some surprising things, some not so surprising. I would research some YouTube videos on it. And I think from that I learned how I thought more about how I'm going to approach it after the experiment. You know, some people are like, oh, that was awful, that was terrible, and then they just drink coffee right away, get back to their old habits. Others are like, I haven't drank caffeine in 200 days. In 5 years, it's changed my life. Me, I'm just going to be more precise with it. I don't need it to start my mornings anymore. It'd be great to, but I don't think I want to use it like that anymore. I don't want to be dependent on something every morning. I'm just going to use it more precise when I need to be really creative or need to get a bunch of stuff done. Use it as a drug, because that's what it is. So don't have to be on the drug all the time, but just here, there, you know. That's what I'm thinking about with it. because I do love it. I love the taste of it. I love the effects of it. I love the social aspects of it. I was thinking so much about how coffee is so intertwined with our culture and our days and everything. Not just coffee, but caffeine. Caffeine's in soda. Caffeine's in energy drinks. Caffeine's in all these new seltzer beverages and coffee. And I learned a little bit about the history of it. And it really took off in like 1600s, kind of like the 17th century. And it's quite possible that the Enlightenment is a result of coffee, and the whole world that we live in is a byproduct of coffee. Because it was this drug where you could like get together and be social with people, but it elevated it, and you could get more work done, and everybody felt better, and they were buzzing, but they didn't. It wasn't like alcohol that could really like do a lot of damage. You get sloppy and things like that. You could be really alert and everything. Yeah, so the Enlightenment is a result of coffee. So our lives are very, everything in like the modern world is kind of owes caffeine. So that's been interesting, just to learn more about the history and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been helpful to be in nature, I will say. I think to do it living in the city, like I had been for the last 15 or so years, would have been more difficult because there's so many people around, and there's a higher feeling of having to like get work done and be productive, and like work culture, hustle culture. As you can see here, it's pretty peaceful. I'm pretty calm. There have been times too where I'm in conversations with people and I think to myself, I'm really glad I'm calm right now. So it's been interesting. Let's finish off this session with writing or thinking or typing about what we're energized for this upcoming week. And for me, it's my 30-day no caffeine experiment will end. And this next week, I'll be able to have caffeine again. And I'm energized for all the things that I put off and I've kind of like blocked out in my mind, because I've decided I'm just going to be present during these 30 days, be in nature. The whole priority is not to be consuming caffeine. And I got these bigger things ahead. And now I can sit down and just, like the Matrix, see everything again. And I'm curious what kind of power caffeine will have on that moving forward, having not done it for 30 days. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Thank you again for being here. Again, just taking these small steps in your life will add up to just leaps and like quantum leaps in transformation. And it can be a difficult thing to do, to just set aside time for ourselves where we don't have screens around, or you might have one that you're typing on, but just to give yourself time to think about your own life. Because if you don't think about your life, you're just going to do what you've been doing by default, and you're not going to change. So anything you want to experience, anything different, will be a lot more difficult. You really have to make effort and think and visualize, okay, what do I want it to be like coming up? You have to imagine something that's not here right now. It doesn't exist. It's not reality. You know what your reality will be if you do the same thing you've been doing. But this exercise of just answering basic questions about our life and things going on, habits, will help us not only visualize what else we want to do and what more that will fulfill us, but also it will help us to get there, to understand and see what steps we need to take. So thank you again for being here. We'll see you next week.